Level 1. Finding form. This is the smallest comeback. No exile, no disgrace, no injury crisis. Just elite players who at some point lost rhythm and found it again. Marcus Rashford. Before the resurrection came the collapse. In 2021-22, Rashford was unrecognizable. Shoulder surgery, 4 Premier League goals in 25 appearances. Dropped by Rangnick at club level. Dropped by Southgate internationally. 3 consecutive squads without a call-up. By September 2022, he hadn't appeared for England since missing his penalty in the Euro 2020 final. The comparisons to Thierry Henry? Gone. The 20-goal seasons? Gone. Then Erik ten Hag arrived. Different system, different demands, different Rashford. In 2022-23, he produced his best season. 30 goals across all competitions, 17 in the Premier League, 6 in the League Cup. After the World Cup, where he scored 3 in 4 appearances, his form became unstoppable. He finished the season as United's top scorer by a distance. But elite form is fragile. 8 goals the following season. By January 2025, United had seen enough. Villa on loan. Then Barcelona, where he showed glimpses again. The career is still unfolding. This isn't a career transformation, it's a rhythm reset. Mohamed Salah. Even the best experience dips. After leading Egypt to the 2022 Africa Cup of Nations final, playing 120 minutes in every knockout round, going to penalties 3 times, Salah returned to Liverpool physically depleted and emotionally drained. The penalty miss against Senegal that cost Egypt the trophy left invisible scars. Post-AFCON, his production dropped visibly. 20 of his 23 league goals came before February. Just 3 in his final 12 appearances. The question emerged across pundit panels. Has Salah lost it? Here's the thing. He still won a shared Golden Boot and the playmaker of the season. His first half of the season was so dominant that even a visible collapse in comparison to his usual standard couldn't prevent him from claiming the awards. That's not a comeback, that's a buffer. Elite players don't just recover from dips, they build margins wide enough to survive them. One of these 2 players has a bigger comeback waiting at a higher level. Let's see if you can guess which one. Level 2. The confidence collapse. This level is about belief, not the actual ability. The technical foundation remains solid. The psychological architecture crumbles before rising. Kai Havertz. In May 2021, Havertz scored the winning goal in the Champions League final. 21 years old. Chelsea's biggest moment in a decade. He rounded Ederson and slotted into an empty net to beat Manchester City 1-0 in Porto. Then Chelsea turned him into a meme. The touches that drew ridicule. The finishing that invited mockery. The player who delivered their greatest moment became their punchline. Arsenal paid £65 million in June 2023. Arteta deployed him in a hybrid role, half striker, half attacking midfielder. This maximized his spatial intelligence. In 23-24, 13 Premier League goals and 7 assists. The following season, he equaled Van Persie's record of scoring in 7 consecutive Emirates appearances. The player Chelsea mocked became Arsenal's most improved asset. Jack Grealish. The £100 million question mark. At Villa, Grealish drew 167 fouls in 2019-2020, more than any player in a single Premier League season. He carried them to survival. City paid the money. Then came the treble, the greatest season in English football history. Grealish contributed 5 goals, 7 assists, the full 90 in the Champions League final against Inter. But he wasn't the star. 23 league starts out of 38. A rotation option in a squad full of world-class alternatives. By 2024-25, he'd gone over a year without a club goal. Everton offered what City couldn't: guaranteed minutes and a defined role. In September 2025, He won Premier League Player of the Month for the first time in his career. This isn't where careers end. They just start shrinking until something changes and they once again rediscover their ability. Level 3. The injury return. This is bad luck and the mentality to come back from it. Luke Shaw, September 2015. A tackle from PSV's Hector Moreno. Double leg fracture so severe that blood clots developed in the aftermath. Doctors later told him he came close to losing his leg entirely. Shaw was 20 years old, England's starting left-back. Career potentially over before it truly began. 11 months of rehabilitation followed, multiple setbacks, the psychological weight of wondering whether the speed that defined his game would ever return. Shaw has maintained his starting position at Manchester United for a decade. He started the Euro 2020 final at Wembley and scored after just 2 minutes, the fastest goal in a European Championship final. From career-threatening injury to scoring in a final on home soil. Virgil van Dijk. When Jordan Pickford's challenge ruptured Van Dijk's ACL in October 2020, Liverpool's defensive structure collapsed alongside him. The 99-point champions finished the following season with just 69 points, in third place. The invincibility became a memory. The question wasn't whether Van Dijk could play again. Modern medicine has made ACL recovery possible. Could he return as the commanding presence that had transformed Liverpool from nearly men into champions? Could he still dominate aerially? Would he be quick enough for the demands of the Premier League and keep making defenders around him better? Van Dijk returned as Liverpool's leader. The questions about whether he'd lost half a yard proved irrelevant. Leadership doesn't require the pace of a 25-year-old. It requires presence. Van Dijk never lost that. Level 4. The career exile. Football decides you're finished. You refuse to agree. These are the players who watch their careers decline, not from injury, not from scandal, but from the simple, brutal verdict that they weren't good enough. So what do you do when the sport writes you off? Manchester United paid £25 million in 2015 for Memphis Depay, a player who had just won the Eredivisie Top Scorer award with 22 goals. The pace of the Premier League overwhelmed him. 33 league appearances, 2 league goals. Written off at 22. Lyon rebuilt him. 63 goals in 139 League One appearances across 4.5 seasons. Barcelona signed him. Atletico Madrid took him next. Never world-class consistency at club level, but relevance regained. Then came the resurrection nobody predicted. For the Netherlands, Memphis became their all-time leading scorer. 55 goals in 108 international appearances. On September 7, 2025, his brace against Lithuania took him past Robin van Persie's record of 50, a record that had belonged to one of the Premier League's greatest ever strikers. Memphis made history at 31. Now he's again moved away from Europe's elite, playing for Corinthians in Brazil. But the player Manchester United discarded became the leading scorer for his country. That's an achievement. Romelu Lukaku. A career with multiple deaths and resurrections. Manchester United paid £75 million in 2017. 27 goals in his first season. By his second, the relationship deteriorated. The touch drew criticism. Mourinho's departure left him without an advocate. Inter Milan gave him a platform to dominate Serie A. 23 goals in his debut season, runners-up by a single point. The following year, 24 league goals, Serie A MVP, and a league title that ended Juventus's 9-year stranglehold on Italian football. Chelsea paid £97.5 million to bring him back. A humble 15 goals in 44 appearances. Publicly criticising Thomas Tuchel's tactical system mid-season. Loaned back to Inter. Loaned to Roma. Napoli paid €30 million in August 2024. Under Antonio Conte, Lukaku delivered. By May 2025, he'd helped secure Napoli's 4th Serie A title, their second in 3 years. 14 goals and 10 assists in the league. The player English football rejected twice became one of Italian football's most reliable performers. Level 5. The Reputation Redemption. This is about forgiveness. Eric Cantona. The Kung Fu kick into the Crystal Palace crowd on January 25, 1995 should have ended everything. 8 months banned. Community service. National disgrace. Television cameras captured the moment a Premier League icon became a cautionary tale about rage and self-destruction. The consensus: his Manchester United career was finished. Cantona returned as captain. He led United to the double in 1995-1996, scoring the winner in the FA Cup final against Liverpool. A volley in the 85th minute after David James's punched clearance fell to him on the edge of the box. It remains one of the most replayed moments in English football history. He retired on his own terms at 30, having transformed from villain to icon in 18 months. Zinedine Zidane. The headbutt against Marco Materazzi in the 2006 World Cup final remains one of football's most infamous moments. Over 1 billion people watched Zidane lower his head into Materazzi's chest in the 110th minute, receive a red card, and walk past the trophy he'd spent his entire career pursuing. His playing days ended in disgrace on the sport's biggest stage. 12 years later, he lifted the Champions League trophy for the 3rd consecutive season as Real Madrid manager. The first coach to win 3 straight European Cups since the competition was rebranded in 1992. The player who departed in shame returned as football's most successful modern coach, proving that legacy isn't defined by your worst moment. Harry Maguire. His arrest in Mykonos in 2020 became the start of the chapter and the narrative of him being genuinely bad at football. The meme era turned England's most expensive defender into a symbol of everything wrong with Manchester United. Social media created an entire genre of content around his errors. The captaincy stripped by Erik ten Hag in July 2023, booed by his own supporters at Old Trafford and for England. Every misplaced pass amplified into viral ridicule. Maguire's response was quiet professionalism. When Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim, in their time as Manchester United head coaches, needed defensive stability, Maguire delivered. Not only that, he delivered clutch goals in times of desperation. Porto, Lyon, Liverpool. All late goals, the next more important than the other. A notable transformation into great, reliable, consistent output that gradually silenced the mockery and acknowledged both his resilience and his abilities. Level 6. The Career Resurrection. This is where football admits it was wrong. 2 players, same manager, same verdict. Both discarded by Jose Mourinho at Chelsea. Both told they weren't good enough, not ready for the big leagues. Both proved the problem wasn't talent, it was opportunity, environment, and trust. Kevin De Bruyne. Chelsea signed him from Genk in 2012 for £7 million. Mourinho gave him 9 appearances, 3 in the Premier League, before selling him to Wolfsburg for £18 million. The Portuguese manager later admitted De Bruyne was a kid who couldn't wait, as he himself preferred Oscar, Willian, and Eden Hazard. I waited 4 months, then told myself I wanted to play football every week, De Bruyne explained. Leaving was the obvious choice. At Wolfsburg, De Bruyne produced 10 goals and a Bundesliga record number of assists in 2014-2015. Manchester City paid £55 million to correct Chelsea's mistake. Experts and pundits raised eyebrows at the time. In 10 seasons at the Etihad, 108 goals, 170 assists, 422 appearances. 6 Premier League titles, a Champions League. The most prolific creative midfielder in English football history. Mohamed Salah. Here he is again. From an inverted comeback and performances so great that his dip in form didn't even matter. Back to where it all began. Chelsea signed him in January 2014 for £11 million. Same manager, same impatience. Mourinho's system demanded defensive discipline from wide players. Salah offered pace and directness, but couldn't adapt quickly enough. 19 appearances across all competitions, 2 goals. Another Mourinho reject. "I still say this is the most important period of my life," Salah reflected. "When I started to struggle there, I was like, okay, so now what? Are you going to be an average player, or do you want to be a really good player?" Fiorentina took him on loan. Roma made it permanent. In Italy, Salah rebuilt everything. Liverpool paid £34 million in 2017. The investment produced the highest-scoring foreign player in Premier League history. Over 250 goals for Liverpool across all competitions. 4 Golden Boots, 2 Premier League titles, a Champions League. Rejection doesn't end careers. Accepting rejection does. Level 7. Death and return. 5 minutes. That's how long Christian Eriksen was gone. Not from football, from life itself. On June 12, 2021, during Denmark's Euro opener against Finland, Eriksen collapsed near the touchline. No contact, no warning. His heart simply stopped. For 5 minutes, he was gone. His teammates formed a protective ring around him, a human shield between their friend and 40,000 cameras. Medics delivered CPR. A defibrillator shocked his chest. Captain Simon Kjær cleared his airway and consoled Eriksen's sobbing partner in the stands. He was gone, team doctor Morten Boesen confirmed. "We did cardiac resuscitation. It was cardiac arrest." In the ambulance, Eriksen regained consciousness. His first words to the crew, "Keep my boots, I won't need them again." He was wrong. Fitted with an implantable defibrillator, Eriksen could no longer play in Italy. Serie A regulations prohibited it. Inter Milan, the club where he just won the league title, were forced to terminate his contract. At 29, his career appeared over. 259 days later, he walked onto the pitch for Brentford against Newcastle. Both sets of fans rose. Players from both teams stopped to applaud. In the stands sat his family, his doctors, everyone who'd fought to bring him back. "If you take away the result," Eriksen said afterward, "I'm one happy man. To go through what I've been through, being back is a wonderful feeling." Manchester United signed him that summer. He helped them win the League Cup, their first trophy in 6 years. Then came the moment that completed the story. At Euro 2024, exactly 1,100 days after dying on a football pitch, Eriksen scored against Slovenia in Denmark's opening match. Same tournament, same stage, different ending. He now plays for Wolfsburg after leaving United in 2025. Denmark's all-time record appearance holder with 144 caps. Whether he features in the 2026 World Cup remains uncertain. But that's no longer the point. "What happened to me changes your perspective on everything," Eriksen said. "I'm just appreciating that I can kick a ball again, that I can be part of a dressing room again, that I can be part of a team again." He told them to keep his boots. 3 years later, he's still wearing them. 7 levels. 14 ways back. The pattern is simple. The player was rarely the problem. Rashford needed Spain. Salah needed Italy. De Bruyne needed Germany. Change the environment, change the story. Mourinho released Salah and De Bruyne from the same Chelsea squad. Between them now, 8 Premier League titles and 2 of the most productive careers in Premier League history. But here's what matters more than the stats. Every player on this list came back stronger than they left. The criticism, the doubt, the wilderness years, that's not wasted time. That's construction. Bad spells don't delay greatness, they build it.